Hello out there YouTube, this is Eric Fish JC coming at you with the first in a series of videos that I'm going to call Sample Library Demonstrations and Reviews Video Series. Kind of a long title for what is hopefully going to be a series of shorter videos outlining some of the major Kontakt sample libraries out there on the market. As you can see, I've got Kontakt 4 loaded up here. Great sample engine. But basically what I'm going to be doing is going through a lot of the major sample libraries and playing the sounds, giving you an idea what they sound like, and reviewing them and kind of giving you my idea of the pros and cons of what's going on. So today what I got loaded up is Cinematic Strings. This is made by a company called Cinematic Strings. And the current patch that I have is called Monster Staccatos. Now this was a marketing thing that Cinematic Strings did before they actually released the product, I believe. That they released this patch, which is just a bunch of staccatos that's mapped across the keyboards, bass and the lower keys, cello, viola, and violin across one patch. And they released it for free, kind of as a teaser. Said to anybody that downloads this patch, basically make a song with it and submit it to us, and we will award the composer of the song that we think is the best a free copy of Cinematic Strings when it is released. And they did it, and I mean, I don't know how successful it was. I know they had quite a few entries. I think Jasper Blanc was the winner. Don't really know who that is, but just to give him a plug in there. I personally think that this is one of the best sounding patches I've heard in a long time. It's very full, and it's perfect for kind of those staccato percussive string chord backgrounds that I use a lot, which I kind of have to get out of using so much because all my songs start to sound the same. So this is what this one sounds like. Yeah, I'm not really a piano player, but nevertheless, I think that they're some of the fullest sounding strings that I've heard. If you're wondering, I am actually using, see if I can pull this up, I'm using a Lexicon PCM reverb, just so you know, just they're PCM natives. But that's just, you know, a little extra there. Now, the Monster Staccatos I use all the time, just for those kind of percussive backgrounds, and occasionally with a good bass, you know, heavy bass riff. Just like that. And with some chording, you can do some pretty cool. And there's some of the best sounding patches I've heard in a while. But that is just the teaser, and I use this quite a bit as well as the actual library. So let's close that and let's get to the actual. Let's try some first violins. Now, what I'm going to use the normal long normal stage miking. Now my processor isn't that fast, so it'll take a second to load. But one of the things about Cinematic Strings is that there aren't individual patches for each articulation. For instance, the long articulation for each instrument is just a longer articulation, such as legato, and you know, it has vibrato, high vibrato, low vibrato, which is one of their big things that they're very excited about, is that they have high position vibrato and low position, which is not something I've seen before, and I have a lot. I mean, I have a LA scoring strings, Symphobia, the works. I mean, which is one of the nicer components of Cinematic Strings. But now this is nice. This is all loaded up. The strings are actually, the articulations here are controlled by C1 to G1, I believe. As you can see, as I'm hitting these keys, they're bringing from vibrato to low vibrato, high, then to staccato, which the staccato for this patch isn't really a staccato, it's just a shortened. But I'll start out with a non-vibrato, just. And my mod wheel, I don't have a mod wheel on my keyboard, so. So that controls the velocity, which they have several, from pianissimo to piano to mezzo piano, mezzo forte, forte, fortissimo, and fortissimo, which is, I don't know, like seven different levels. So that's one of the reasons why these are so big, which is one of the issues I have with them, is that it takes up kind of a lot of space. You can see it takes up 312 megabytes of RAM for just one patch, and I only have 2 gigs of RAM, so I can't really run really big sessions. Freeze can do so much for me, but that can only, my processor still doesn't really keep up with it. So now we can move to a low position vibrato. That first one was a non-vibrato articulation, so here's a low position. Oh. Also sounds very good of non-vibrato / high vibrato. So that's not really meant for that, but then you have the high position vibrato. See, my processor just blips sometimes. But so that's basically what the first violins sound like. Now they have second violins, violas, cellos, and basses. So I'm going to switch to the cellos. Let's try cellos normal. Let's try room miking. They have 3 mics set up. Alright. 3 mics set up. They have a room mic, a spot mic, and a stage mic. Now, if you select the combo patch, you can actually mix between these 3 miking options and kind of create your own blend going on there. But these have just ridiculously huge sample sizes, the combo patches do. For instance, the all combo is something like 6 gigs. It's ridiculous. But I'm sure they sound fantastic. But here is the cellos, long normal. As you can see, it's mapped kind of towards the middle of the keyboard, just with their non-vibrato patch. Their key switch is lower. It's the C0, just because the keys actually go down to C1 with the cello. So then low vibrato / non-vibrato. Low position. Non-vibrato / high. High position vibrato. Slowly working up the neck and then back down. So that's basically what cinematic strings sounds like for the most part. Their staccatos are just ridiculous. But I have prepared a little song featuring monster staccatos. Let's shrink this down. I have another monitor here, but it's a big one. It's like a 23-incher. So here's the song. Hope you enjoy it. Play you. that's Cinematic Strings. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you'll comment, subscribe, etc., etc. You'll be looking for the next video, which will feature LA scoring strings, one of the more heralded string libraries.